When President Uhuru Kenyatta reshuffled his cabinet on 20th of January 2020, most Kenyans read politics in that reshuffle because President Uhuru Kenyatta had used that reshuffle to fire Mwangi Kiunjuri from the Ministry of Agriculture. And in his place, he appointed Peter Munya to take over. And for those who are keenly following the politics in this country, Peter Munya is an apologetic supporter of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And Mwangi Kiunjuri was and is still an apologetic supporter of the deputy president William Samoei Ruto. So most Kenyans concluded that the president was firing Mwangi Kiunjuri and rewarding Peter Munya, who is his allies. And also during that particular reshuffle, because Mwangi Kiunjuri was going out, the president brought in Mutahi Kagwe. But Mutahi Kagwe was assigned the Ministry of Health docket, which was being held by Cecil Kariuki. But Cecil Kariuki had failed to inspire hope in that particular docket. But I remember personally opining on this platform that through those appointments, through that particular reshuffle, the president wanted to address two main issues. The first issue the president wanted to address was to stem the rebellion against him in central Kenya. Because remember, Mwangi Kiunjuri was the Minister for Agriculture. But the allies of the deputy president, led by Girathi Gachagua and Moses Kuria, kept on singing the song of our coffee, our tea, and blah, blah. So the president wanted to address that particular issue by firing the ally of the deputy president because he felt probably he was being sabotaged. So he fired Mwangi Kiunjuri and brought on board Peter Munya to take over, so that Peter Munya could address some of these issues. And of course, when Peter Munya took over, he started addressing some of the issues. The second thing he wanted to address at that time was he wanted to bring on board someone with the political experience to his cabinet. Because Mwangi Kiunjuri was actually a politician. So by removing Mwangi Kiunjuri and allowing him to go out there and roam, he needed an equal measure. And that's where Mutahi Kagwe came from, because Mutahi Kagwe was going to help him address the issue of Nyeri, because Mwangi Kiunjuri has roots in Nyeri. So when he appointed Mutahi Kagwe to that post, Kenyans didn't know what to expect. But today, Kenyans are confirming that the appointment of Mutahi Kagwe came at the right time. But who is Mutahi Kagwe? Because this guy is inspiring hope to Kenyans, especially in the face of this particular disease. Is inspiring hope based on the way he talks. And yesterday, I was in discussions with some of my friends, and we were asking ourselves several questions. If you look at the United States of America, the person addressing the issue of this disease is none other than President Donald Trump. You go to other places, the president. Italy, it's the president himself. Even next door here, if you go to Uganda, it's the president. You go to Rwanda, it's the president. But in Kenya, that task has been left on the shoulder of one man, Mutahi Kagwe. And we are figuring out, why did the president decide to leave this task to Mutahi Kagwe? And we are coming to the conclusion that probably because of the politics we are experiencing in this country, we know that in this country, there are people who hate President Uhuru Kenyatta. And most of them are allies of the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto. So if the president was to take the role of disseminating some of this information, they would not take them seriously. They would politicize them. So probably that's why the president decided he's the one who is coordinating everything. He's personally taken the initiative over this particular disease. But the guy addressing the media is Mutahi Kagwe. And of course, he has succeeded in inspiring hope. So if the president was to do this, what would be the situation? And assuming this task was left to Cecil Kariuki, or let me say Olelenku, for those who remember those times. But who is this Mutahi Kagwe? The man who has inspired hope in the midst of a crisis.
Last week, this disease is not a joke. Kenyans must treat this matter with the seriousness it deserves by adjusting and changing their lifestyles. If we continue to behave normally, this disease will treat us abnormally. Behaving normal under these circumstances is akin to having a death wish. Therefore, in addition to the measures that we have already, consequently, NAC has decided that all persons who violate the self-quarantine requirement will be forcibly quarantined for a full 14 days at their cost, and thereafter arrested and charged in accordance with the Public Health Act. And I would like to add here that this will apply to a senior government official in Kilifi who defied and refused to self-quarantine, who is now being forcibly quarantined in a facility, and upon the completion of the period given by our health authorities, the person, the official, will be charged in a court of law.
No, that's Mutahi Kagwe. And because of the way he's communicating, Kenyans now believe in Mutahi Kagwe more than any other thing. And I've remembered people, I've read online people saying Mutahi Kagwe is now the next big thing from central Kenya. I've also read people saying that Mutahi Kagwe is now fit for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya. I've also seen people, especially the allies of the deputy president, saying that Mutahi Kagwe should now be the running mate of the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto. I've seen a lot of things. And assuming the president did not appoint Mutahi Kagwe, where would Mutahi Kagwe be today? Because we all know Mutahi Kagwe was the immediate senator for Nyeri. And in the last election, Mutahi Kagwe contested for the gubernatorial seat. But he didn't win. And Mutahi Kagwe is one of those people who believe he was also rigged out by the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto. So where would Mutahi Kagwe be today? And why are Kenyans so inspired by this man? I want to believe it's because of his background on communications. But let us just go a bit into the history of this man so that you can understand the person we are talking about. Mutahi Kagwe was born in 1958. And he was the first senator for Nyeri. Of course, we know that. Mutahi Kagwe attended Kihate Primary School between 1965 and 1971 before joining Kagumo High for O-levels and A-levels. That's between 1972 and 1979, before we were born. He then joined University of Nairobi between 1978 and 1981. And there he studied commerce, I think marketing option. And then he later on went to the USIU for his master's in MBA. Then this guy between 1987 and 1989, he worked as an advertising manager with the Standard Limited, where he was promoted to the commercial manager until 1991. So in 2002, Mutahi Kagwe was elected as a member of parliament for Makwiny constituency. He held there until 2007. Remember, 2002, President Uhuru Kenyatta was the president of the Republic of Kenya. And for those who know this guy, at that time, the guy who was influential in government was called John Michuki. And Mutahi Kagwe is married to John Michuki. So in central Kenya, people believed that it's Michuki who influenced Mutahi Kagwe to contest as a member of parliament at that time for Makwiny, and even help him win that seat. Then it went there, and the President Kibaki, he also appointed him as a minister. President Uhuru Kenyatta also appointed him as a minister for information and communications. So that's why you understand his confidence when he speaks, and even when he was the minister for information and communications. So in 2013, he was elected. Between 2007 and 2012, he was sent out. He was not elected. But again, he made a comeback in 2013 as a senator up to 2017. Then 2017, now he contested for the governor and he failed. And this guy was appointed by Charles Keter in 2019 to serve as Energy and Petroleum Regulation Commission. It's a known fact that Mutahi Kagwe is an apologetic supporter of President Uhuru Kenyatta. But what are some of the achievements of this guy during the Kibaki era? When he was the Minister for Information, he pioneered what was then referred to as TIMS, or the Transformational East African Marine System, the first fiber optic for East African region. Kenya and the entire region enjoy high speed because of this move by Mutahi Kagwe. Currently in my house in Kisumu, I'm using the fiber. So the guy who brought that, who engineered that into this country was Mutahi Kagwe. It was also during his time as a minister when M-Pesa was launched. I'm not saying it's him, but it was during his time. Kijaluo anasema dhiang onyuole akwadhane. Like if you have a cow, a pregnant cow, or if you have a pregnant cow and you sell it to someone, then it gives birth to the guy you send it to. So the guy who will take credit of that is actually the new owner. So we normally say dhiang onyuole akwadhane. So Mutahi Kagwe was there as the minister when M-Pesa was being initiated. But again, as a senator, this guy was championing what is called the best classroom, early childhood education program, which is seeing most of the ECDs being constructed in this country. So the appointment of Mutahi Kagwe now is inspiring hope to most Kenyans. Whenever Mutahi Kagwe calls for a press conference, I want to be honest, most Kenyans are always tuned to their TVs. But why is this possible? It's possible because this country are used to mediocre leadership. People don't take their roles seriously. Since this disease knocked on our door, Mutahi Kagwe has stood with the Kenyans. Remember, when fake news started flowing left, right, and center, he warned Kenyans. He warned Kenyans that if you are found spreading fake news, then he will simply, you will be arrested and taken to Mbagathi so that you can tell Kenyans, you can address them from Mbagathi. So in my view, so far, because politicians always emerge during such kind of crisis, let's face it, Mutahi Kagwe has his occasion. And Mutahi Kagwe has actually used this occasion to rise. I was reading some corridors that as cabinet secretary, I like putting things straight. The corridors in a column in the Star was alleging that a senior cabinet minister is not happy because the Mutahi Kagwe is now taking limelight from him. And they were referring to the super cabinet secretary, Fred Matiang'i. I don't know how true is that, but I've never seen Fred Matiang'i around whenever these press conferences are being released. So this is the occasion for these guys. And the people of Central Kenya have now identified a person they can rely on. Because remember, Central Kenya cannot produce a president in the next 10 years or 20 years. But now they have someone who can be appointed to any senior government position because this guy has performed to the best of my ability. But again, this guy is a communications expert. The way he's communicating, Kenyans are always yearning to hear more from him. I don't know what you think, but from the background of this Mutahi Kagwe and the way he has addressed all these issues, I am sure and certain that Mutahi Kagwe has created a niche for himself within the political circles in this country. I don't think if he will decide to run for the governor in next election, he will find it rough. He will not find it rough. And you see, the advantage now is to the president. When the president fired Mwangi Kiunjuri, that firing was based on the fact that he was not delivering. But now he appointed Mutahi Kagwe in his place, but Mutahi Kagwe is now delivering. And this guy has really inspired hope into Kenyans. I don't know what you think. But if you're bumping on this video for the first time, I want you to just take a second or two and hit the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, you get notified. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Just keep safe wherever you are. Keep safe. Wash your hands. Keep hygiene. Keep social distancing so that we can fight this together. But pass a message to your pastor. Tell them, kama tithe ndio nataka, you can send it through M-Pesa. Send a message to the management of your mosque. Tell them just we want to keep safe. Because if we all lie today, then we won't even have people to preach to the next day. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. Bye.